This is the first example for our density practice problems. It states, determine the density of lithium metal in grams per cubic centimeters if a cube measuring 0.82 centimeters by 1.45 centimeters by 1.25 centimeters has a mass of 0.794 grams. So I'm just recognizing this would not be a cube because a cube has all the same sides measured. So this would be like a square chunk of lithium metal, okay? But in any case, that's just me being technical. I get that way sometimes. Anyways, so what we're going to need to do is read our question again and identify what the question's asking us. It says determine the density. So we're going to stop right there. Before we can determine the density, we must first understand what density is. What is the formula for density? Density is equal to mass divided by volume. Okay, now what is given in the problem? We are given that the lithium metal has a mass of 0.794 grams. Okay. Now, what else is given? We are given the dimensions of the piece of metal. The dimensions tell you length times width times height. Length, width, and height gives you volume. Okay, so volume is equal to length times width times height. So those dimensions are given. So what we're going to do is we're going to find density by taking the mass 0.794 grams divided by the length times width times height, whichever one is what. So 0.82 centimeters times 1.45 centimeters times 1.25 centimeters. Okay. So now when we do this, what we will recognize is that we're going to be multiplying the units of centimeters by centimeters by centimeters to give us cubic centimeters. So volume, length times width times height equals to units cubed. Okay. Now in this case, the units are centimeters. Okay. So when we do our math here, I'm going to start with the denominator here. 0.82 times 1.45 times 1.25. The calculator is giving me a longer number, but we're going to keep those digits for right now. So what the calculator is giving me here is 1.4865, and then the units is going to be cubic centimeters. Okay. So by keeping all of these digits in our calculator, it's making our answer as accurate as possible, but then we still have to round at the very end. Okay. So you always round at the end based on the least significant figures in the original values. Okay. So even though we wrote out all of these digits, the only significant numbers in this value based on the calculation is going to be 2 significant figures, because this is the least number of significant figures. 2 significant figures. Okay. So that means we're going to put in these numbers into the calculator, but we're going to round our final answer to only 2 significant figures. And now what we get for our final answer is going to be equal to, rounding to 2 significant figures, my final answer will be 0.53 grams per cubic centimeters. Because what the calculator gave me was 0.534230, etc. Okay, so when you put that in your calculator, you'll see that, but you'll see that I've rounded it to 0.53.